Really and truly crapping on movies made by people far more successful than anyone you've ever had anything to do with is not easy work, but sometimes you have to ask yourself, why do these things exist? Are they the product of a creative spark somewhere? Or are they a studio mandate farmed out to a third-rate production house? In 1994, The Return of Jafar was released on home video, starting a plague of direct-to-video sequels to all of the most popular Disney films and some of the less popular ones, and some... Either way, over 30 direct-to-video sequels, prequels, and midquels have been produced. These were all made by Disney Toon Studios, the production house responsible for Disney's animated television series. And let's get this straight. At best, they're okay. At worst, they're awful, and they only serve to make the studio look bad. Worse. As they were made by television people with television assets and budgets, they look like TV shows. They are paced like TV shows. They have the stakes of a TV episode. And I will be the first to concede that original thought probably was not allowed in most of these things because of the studio mandate to keep them as close to the source material as possible. Brand name recognition! And in light of the decline of 2D and the rise of Pixar and DreamWorks 3D animation, these things make the studio look like money-grubbing whores. Which they are. But if we look at these movies as art pieces rather than a quick cash-in made for stupid children who need to be babysat by Uncle Television for an hour, most of them just don't seem to get the original movies that they're based off of. Which is kind of impressive, because it's Disney. And I don't want to hear, why didn't you include this one? This one's even worse. If I didn't include it, I didn't take as much issue with it. So here we go. This is my top 10 worst Disney sequels, or midquels, or three-part never-existed television series quels. Let's begin. When you wish upon a star. Number 10.
What a dog.
Lady and the Tramp was one of the more stylistic early Disney movies. For instance, it's filmed from a dog's perspective with a dog's understanding of the human world. In Lady and the Tramp 2, there are way too many human faces for this to take place in the same universe as the first one. Starting it off right, it's like they don't understand the basic stylistic choices of the original, namely that we rarely see a human's face, it's mostly feet. Here, the crotch dumplings will get confused if we don't show the faces, so let's just show the faces.
Darling, and with Jim dear, we've made a home from which we'll never roam.
Why would we when we're so contented here?
Yeah, alright, let's start this party off right with a big Hello Dolly style musical number. You know, Lady and the Tramp wasn't a traditional musical like they did in the 90s. All of the songs were either sung by characters that were practically making cameos or the omnipotent great choir. Also, Lady and the Tramp are not in Lady and the Tramp 2 much. Instead, it focuses on the little rapscallion we see at the end of Lady and the Tramp 1, who, while he does accurately act like a puppy, is really annoying.
That's kid stuff.
Yeah, nothing makes me love a character more than when he goes, "That's lame, watch me do better. Fail, 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 fail." One of the nice things about earlier Disney movies is that they weren't so homogenous like they were in the 90s. Lady and the Tramp 2 takes a clever little idea of a movie and turns it into not another coming-of-age story. And that's lame.
When you wish upon a star.
Number 9. At least Bambi 2, which almost made this list for being boring as tar, kind of had a point to its existence which wasn't in the original. That is, what his relationship to his dad actually was.
You need your family, Tarzan, and your family needs you.
Tarzan 2 is offensive in its existence in that the whole plot is devoted to him feeling like an outcast among fellow gorillas and coming to terms with that. You know, that thing that the entire first half of Tarzan was devoted to.
He will never be one of us.
1, it's not a 2, it's a midquel. 2, its theme being a major theme of the first film. And 3, some of the most worthless, non-threatening antagonists.
Hey, you can't do that to my brother!
In existence. When Tarzan feels that his family would be better off without him, he runs away and runs into an old, nihilistic, mis-gorillathropic curmudgeon.
Sugar rule number 1, don't need anyone but yourself.
Played by George Carlin.
Lots of fucking going on here.
How the fuck, who the fuck, when the fuck, why the fuck?
Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits, fart, turd, and twat.
And I'm getting really sick of guys named Todd.
You know.
See, Tarzan doesn't quite know who he is, spending the whole film trying to figure it out. But don't you worry, Carlin to the rescue.
I did it! I finally figured out what you are! A Tarzan!
You're a douchebag! And it's not like we don't miss you, George. I understand that sometimes we all need a suckle from that sweet, sweet Disney teat. Seriously, though, George Carlin is the man. Most of the time.
When you wish upon a star.
Number 8. There are 3 types of Disney sequel. The 3 episodes of a non-existent television show, the midquel, and the honest-to-God sequel. And you'd be surprised how rare the latter is. Usually it involves someone from movie 1 finding a love interest, or the crotch dumplings of the main characters from the original learning the same lesson that their parents learned in the last movie. I'm not surprised this exists. I'm not surprised any of this exists. But I am surprised that this got a theatrical release. Someone along the line looked at this and said, "This is good enough for theaters. Here's an extra $2 million. Have it ready by Thanksgiving." Here we have Wendy's daughter, Jane, the too serious little girl having to learn how to be a child again despite, you know, priorities.
I want to hear a Pizza Pan story.
Shh, the actual danger? Hey, little girl, what are you doing being concerned with Nazis and bombs and living to see the end of the war?
I've no time for fun and games.
You used to. You gotta be the very first lost girl ever.
Pixie dust, damn it. I hate the Disney version of Peter Pan, and he's no better here.
You're gonna have to do better than that, boy!
I really hate Tinkerbell, so I admit I enjoy her pain in this. Yes, no more sassy Hot Topic shirts for you, huh? Captain Hook, who kidnaps Jane while mistaking her for Wendy, is somehow even more foppish.
That wretched boy will be but a notch in Miss Scabbard.
But instead of a crocodile wanting to chow down on Hook, this one has an octopus, which is how you know this is a different movie.
Stay away!
It even does the stupid TikTok thing. Why is it popping? The stupid crocodile had swallowed a clock. This thing, it just pops in a rhythm. This is bad, but it might not have made this list if not for that octopus. What was wrong with the crocodile? It's the same thing. Did they lose the rights to the crocodile? Hate. Hate.
When you wish upon a star.
Number 7. It's hard to find a continuation to any story as aggressively worthless as Cinderella 2. First, we have the tritest example of why being a princess isn't all it's cracked up to be. Cinderella wants to be a royal without losing the common touch.
And why do they have to keep the palace so dark? And that awful dance. And those boring colors that all look the same.
And why do we have to eat these fine royal delicacies? I'd rather eat Oreos. And why do we have to wear shoes anyway? Why can't we just dance on the table? Yeah, of course she revolutionizes everything instantly. Surprise.
Who opened those curtains?
This is all Princess Cinderella's doing.
What a lovely moon!
And that's only one of 3 tales in this movie. None of them were strong enough to be a movie unto itself. The second one has to do with Jack the Mouse wanting to be human, and is by far the hardest to suffer through. And the third has to do with one of the ugly stepsisters finding love in a common baker and having to stand up to her snobbish evil mother in the name of love.
Look, Anastasia, you just need a little help, that's all.
My, but she is forgiving for all those years of psychological and physical abuse.
You're wrong!
Marry for love and not money, damn it! And if you haven't learned that lesson by now, then by God, we'll make you watch every other Disney movie ever!
When you wish upon a star.
Number 6. If you're over the age of 10, the badness of a Disney sequel is usually in inverse proportion to how much you liked the original. This is probably why I take such umbrage with The Enchanted Christmas, which we'll get to later. There's an exception to every rule, and here is mine.
Ursula's crazy sister!
Ursula's crazy sister.
The plot to keep Ariel's daughter Melody out of the ocean involves some of the most contrived shit ever.
Oh, we've got to keep Melody away from her. Until Morgana is found, Melody can't go in the sea.
Yeah, that's pretty stupid. Can't know the truth, can't, let her know what the hell is going on, that she might grow to defend herself or recognize a threat when she sees it. Nope. This might be the prime example of a child having to learn the lesson their parents learned the first time around.
You deliberately disobeyed me. I never want you going out there again, do you hear me? It's dangerous in the sea.
Oh, Ariel, you might be a hypocrite or something.
You're just like your mother.
She sure is. In fact, it's just like the original. It's the same story, minus the prince. And also the stakes. I'm no fan of the original, but I hate to say it, I liked this better when it was called The Little Mermaid. And was about a mermaid.
When you wish upon a star.
Number 5.
Copper, you're my very best friend. And you're mine too, Todd. And we'll always be friends forever.
The original Fox and the Hound is a tragic, dark parable about Todd and Copper, who, while best friends as children, are driven apart by the role society has chosen for them. It's not only one of Disney's more somber pictures, it's one of the more subtle pictures as well.
We're still friends, aren't we? Todd, those days are over.
In The Fox and the Hound 2, a midquel, Copper and Todd join a band. I'm not kidding. Reba McEntire. Seriously, that's Reba McEntire. She's our flimsy antagonist.
Sometimes I swear I just want to bite him.
It's about Copper falling in with this other group of dogs, and they invite him to join their band. Reba gets jealous, Todd gets jealous, and there are no stakes, and it has nothing to do with the original. I think the writers were told, it's a story about a fox and a hound and their friends. Write a movie. The worst thing about this one is that no matter where it ends, you are where you were in the original, in the middle of The Fox and the Hound, being torn apart by society. And that's horrible.
But the band, aren't you going with them? Can't. You and me, we got crickets to chase.
Aw, it's adorable. The inexorable forces of society are gonna tear your friendship apart.
When you wish upon a star.
Number 4. How Quasimodo got his groove.
Maybe someone could love me.
Some people take issue that Quasimodo didn't get the girl in the first one. I don't so much because... come on. Also, it's closer to the book. But in the world of Hunchback 2, the plague has apparently wiped out most of the denizens of Paris to a population of about 20 or so.
Make a face as gruesome as a gargoyle's wing, parading down the promenade in Paris.
And Quasimodo is like the town mascot. The gypsies are all fully integrated now, but those carnies, they cannot be trusted. And they are run by a flaming homo bad guy.
I could kiss me, but I'd fall in love.
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. So it's time for Quasimodo to get some. But who could be his perfect match? Who can Disney afford in 2002? Good enough. She might be generic and hot, but she's klutzy and awkward, just like you.
The gargoyles.
Gargoyles?
Well, they were alive.
Aw, she shares your delusions. Remember the Festival of Fools in the first one? Well, this one has a love festival.
Whose name are you gonna yell tomorrow, Quasi?
Don't women find you sexually attractive, Quasimodo? Oh, this horrifyingly annoying kid is Esmeralda and Phoebus' son, Zephyr, played by Haley Joel Osment at his very worst.
Wow, 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 wow! Best friends.
And we always will be.
Good exchange, because that's how best friends talk. Best friends.
Best friends forever.
And we'll always be friends, won't we?
Of course, as long as you don't default on your payments.
Besides the love interest, the film revolves around the stupidest damn thing. Everyone's fighting over this damn bell that's, get it? Beautiful on the inside.
Well, Fidel, you are magnificent.
You ring for shit, though.
She's even more beautiful on the inside.
Takes more than looking to really see.
You're a hunchback!
When you wish upon a star.
Number 3. I've heard criticism against the original Beauty and the Beast and how it's bad because it's all about one poor girl's Stockholm Syndrome, which I don't think is fair because A, she only comes around to him once he stops being a dick, and B, when he lets her go, she leaves. Probably wouldn't have come back except for, you know, impending doom. It's the Christmas miracle of Stockholm Syndrome.
I, for one, think a little Christmas cheer would do him some good. Everyone needs someone. He must need someone too.
He's mopey and emo, and I can change him. Oh yay, and another foppish sissy villain with a big gay crush on the Beast.
The music helps.
Your music is the only thing that helps me forget.
Said big gay crush being his primary motivation. I pretty much already reviewed this POS, so I'll try not to repeat myself too much. It contains one of the worst songs in recent memory.
Love takes the wildest heart and makes it tame. If you're turned on, then just turn off.
It has some of the worst jokes.
Do you know what day it is?
Well, it's not Tuesday.
In any Disney movie, and oh, Beast, what have they done to you?
I fell and I landed on my... on the ice.
You're an asshole! But hopefully at least this one will be washed away by the sands of time. No.
When you wish upon a star.
Number 2. It's not like television writers can't make the transition to film. Just look at Aaron Sorkin. But movies work differently from television. They have a different tension, a different look. The stakes are stakier. In Atlantis, Milo's Return, the paper-thin characters from the original trying to find these Atlantean artifacts out in the world, and somehow or other that's tied in with whether or not they'll go back to the surface world. And these 3 not related adventures somehow culminate in that.
Let us share our light with the world!
Wow, and just in time for World War I! If it sounds like 3 episodes from a television series that got canned and was hastily cobbled together into a sequel, that's exactly what it is. It is exactly that. This might have been able to make an Aladdin-style TV series if the characters were interesting and fun, not boring and superfluous. Sorry, people who like this movie, they are.
Already had my doctor, digger, demolition expert, mechanic, each the top of their field.
The only thing the original really had going for it was stunning animation. But even then, comparing the two is like comparing a symphony to some kid playing a commercial jingle on a kazoo.
Plastic.
When you wish upon a star.
Number 1. It's hard to articulate what about this one makes it so awful. But when you really get down to it and step back, it's that every story needs a conflict. With Beauty and the Beast, the only real conflict that could exist while keeping the story intact was, well, the one that happened. Theirs was a delicate situation. They can't keep getting mad at each other over stupid misunderstandings. And in the original movie, they don't.
If you'd hold still, it wouldn't hurt as much.
Well, if you hadn't have run away, this wouldn't have happened.
This stands in some contrast to flying in a rage over a baby bird.
I found a bird today, and...
You found a what?
Like Atlantis 2, this one's a 3-parter. One that doesn't bother trying to tie itself together by the book thing or the whatever thing. 2 of these 3 are about Belle wants something, the Beast is a dick, Belle tries to change him, the Beast is a dick more, the Beast realizes he's wrong, everything's okay. It's less Beauty and the Beast and more like the abusive odd couple.
I will never apologize!
Belle's magical prison. Interesting that when the Beast acts like an asshole like this, it always ends up fine despite him learning the same lesson over and over. Every time I try this with a damsel, it never pans out.
Wow, I sure do have a bad disposition. I think I need to be fixed.
You know, this didn't work the first 5 times you did this, nostalgia chick. I need to go to the bathroom.
I'm a inanimate object.
Do you want me to go to the bathroom in that?
Now where's my Blu-ray release? It's rare when you come across something so awful that you have a hard time explaining why it's bad, but there are times such as these when analyzing it makes you dumber. Entertainment is the only product in our kids' lives where parents will go, so what if it's crappy? It's just for my children. You don't say that about anything else in their lives. What? It's just a car seat. So what if the belt barely works? What? It's just food. And you know why that is? Is it because you want your kids or yourselves to be enriched? No, it's because kids are stupid, and you don't care what they watch, and you just want them to shut up. So you can blame Disney for going crazy with direct-to-video shit, but you know what? It's your fault, parents, for buying shitty, awful movies for your kids based on the standards your company used to uphold. Oh wait, you don't care, because kids are stupid, and they want the same shit over and over, and you're okay with them watching shitty movies. But at least the plague of sequels has finally ended, and in its place, a billion Tinkerbell movies. Enjoy!